Halloween Ends is the latest movie in the long-running Halloween franchise and the third entry in this new trilogy that started with Halloween, released in 2018, a direct sequel to the original 1978 film. It's directed by David Gordon Green, featuring Laurie Strode, Andy Matichak, James Jude Courtney, and it's 4 years after her last encounter with the masked killer, Michael Myers. Laurie Strode is living with her granddaughter and trying to finish her memoir. However, when a young man stands accused of murdering a boy that he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror that forces Laurie to confront the evil she can't control. Now guys, before I give you my review of Halloween Ends, I want to see what you guys have to say about it down in the comment section below. Have you had the chance to see it yet? Have you not? Are you looking forward to it? Please comment down below, let me know. I want this to be a friendly discussion, to be perfectly honest, because I know how toxic certain communities within horror, anime, movies, TV, video games, how all of them can get, and I know a lot of people who got a lot of hate from the Halloween community last year with Halloween Kills. And I want this to be a friendly discussion. And before we get into the review, I also want to say, to everyone who wants to come at me saying that I am breaking embargo because I saw this movie at the launch screening here in Brisbane, Australia, and apparently I'm bound by embargo, I'm not. I received my invite 2 weeks ago, and here's the screenshot of the invite, and here's the confirmation. There is no embargo to be found whatsoever, or neither is there an embargo date and time listed. Even when I went today, I was not confronted by anyone from Universal asking me about the embargo or informing me of it whatsoever. I have not signed anything. I am not bound by anything whatsoever. I'm not obligated to hold my review. This is probably due to the reason that public screenings for everyone else also started tonight, maybe 30 minutes after this screening started. And not only that, the movie comes out tomorrow in Australia, October 13th. It's currently the 12th. So with that said, we don't have an embargo. Alright? But we're here to talk about Halloween Ends. I was really excited for this movie. I'm someone who defends Halloween Kills for a great number of reasons, and I think that while that movie is messy with its pretty piss poor script as well as its shoddy editing, I think that the movie overall is acted very well, has a very intense, very dark tone, and feels like a classic slasher. It actually is the closest, in my opinion, to replicating the tone of the original 78 film, having rewatched it quite a few times over the last 12 months since it was released. I also really love the 2018 film. I think that is a genuinely damn good movie in many, many ways. And the original Halloween film is my favorite horror movie of all time. I'm a big Halloween fan. Even some of the sequels I really enjoy, like Halloween H2O. Halloween Resurrection is not a good movie, but I think it's a fun one, because I can laugh at how fucking bad it is. I think Season of the Witch is an underrated gem, because I think it gets a lot of hate purely for the reason that it doesn't feature Michael Myers. But Halloween Ends is a different ballgame altogether. This is, by far, one of the most ambitious, I'll say, movies I have seen in quite a while. There are a lot of decisions made with this movie that, going into it, I would not have expected them to go this direction. I didn't look up the plot. What I read out to you guys with my synopsis that I provided is literally on Google. If you just type in Halloween Ends, that's the synopsis it gives you. So it's out there. I'm not giving away anything, but this movie is not very good. I'm just being honest. It might be an ambitious one with a lot of really damn good ideas, in my opinion. Like, that's the thing that's disappointing to me, because Halloween Ends by no means is the worst movie I've ever seen, nor is it the worst movie of 2022, but it is one of the worst movies of 2022, and a large part of my disappointment is the fact that Halloween Kills left off on such a note where a lot of ideas that were present or introduced never had the follow-through. They felt like they had more room to develop and to be explored, which is something I hoped Halloween Ends would do after its release. I thought that this movie would build upon so many different ideas that were so fascinating and really damn good, going in such a promising direction when it came to Halloween Kills. That was a movie with a lot of balls to it too. That's a very ambitious movie, just like Halloween Ends is on its own rights, but in very different ways. Halloween Ends is a movie that also starts off incredibly strong. The opening scene of this movie, for reasons I won't spoil, can be a bit annoying, but how it leaves you off before the opening credits was fucking shocking. My jaw hit the floor. My mate next to me, Alex, who you can find him on YouTube at AltixTV, him and I, he didn't look at me, but I saw him and he just covered his mouth like he had that very visceral reaction of holy fuck in a physical manner, because obviously at a screening we can't really say anything out loud, but he was shocked. He didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming either, the way that the opening sequence in general leaves off. I think that the way that the movie follows up as well, post the opening credits, is very awesome. Seeing Laurie and Allison trying to live their lives 4 years after what happened with Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018, trying to move on with their life. Same thing with Lindsay and everything. I think it's a very good idea what they did there. I thought the way they explored as well the fear that Michael left behind after he disappeared was very prevalent in the first 30 minutes of this movie. I mean, the way they explored it was very disturbing, with visual cues, the way that you see the townspeople of Haddonfield react or act in general. Like, it had some very disturbing imagery and commentary within, and therefore the whole commentary of Michael is gone and Haddonfield is so scared that due to something that happened with this other guy, they feel like they need to create this new evil that cannot be contained. Them as a community, as a city, as a town, need to create this new evil to obsess over because Michael is gone. This is a really damn interesting... Someone's revving their car outside the front of my house. They're gone. This is a very interesting idea that is very deep with its commentary that unfortunately isn't really explored all too well. It's not that it's not explored at all throughout the movie, but it all comes down to execution. I want to talk about Rohan Campbell for a second, who plays a character in this movie who's new, known as Corey. He is the guy in the synopsis I was telling you about, who was accused of killing a young boy and everything, and I think that Rohan Campbell, with what he's provided as this character, does a good job. I think that Rohan Campbell is a very talented actor, especially in this movie, with a lot of his acting chops in regards to a lot of his emotional beats as well, his outbursts. He is a very effective actor, and every emotion that this character was meant to be feeling in every separate scene are emotions that I, as the viewer, were able to feel very, very easily. I also thought that the bond that he shared with certain characters of the main cast and everything were very sweet and endearing at first, and I thought that it went a direction that was like, there is hope here, but then it goes the opposite direction, which I think is expected, where there is no hope. But the way that they handled this narrative with so many different ideas, with so many cooks in the kitchen, just didn't work. This movie is a fucking mess. Aside from the stuff with Corey, aside from the stuff with Allison and Lindsay, Allison and everything, it is a messy movie that at times feels like it wants to retcon Halloween Kills. Although certain events are referenced, certain characters who once again you think are dead, just like in Halloween 2018, just turn up. Like, characters that should be fucking dead due to their wounds in Halloween Kills are just alive in here, and they blame Laurie and Allison for what happened for some reason. I don't know why they do that. Like, characters we thought died in the 2018 film returned in Halloween Kills. They do the same thing in this one, which was a very strange choice in my opinion. There are so many different things aside from the stuff with our lead cast and everything in this town. There are so many different subplots thrown into this one narrative that it feels like so many movies have been meshed into one, that they just wanted to wrap this bow around it without any clear direction. What I can describe this new Halloween trilogy as is the new Star Wars trilogy that came out recently in regards to The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. I really love The Force Awakens, and I defend the shit out of The Last Jedi, but hated The Rise of Skywalker. I loved the 2018 film, defend the shit out of Halloween Kills, and really, really don't like Halloween Ends. And it feels like it's for very similar reasons. Halloween Ends is a movie where everyone acts the best of their ability with the very shitty script that they have provided, because the dialogue and every scene here just rushes past at a very brisk pace with a lot of nothing fucking happening. I mean, when I say nothing really happens for about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes of this movie, aside from a scene here or there, I mean it. Nothing fucking happens in this movie for at least an hour. And that includes the opening scene. Like, there's the opening scene and maybe one or two other moments sprinkled throughout. Nothing happens aside from some melodrama, soap opera type bullshit that goes on for far too long. Michael doesn't even appear in the movie until at least 45 minutes in, it feels. It feels is the key word, because this movie moves so slowly while every scene just feels like it needs to come and go like a dad who doesn't want to be a dad and needs to go grab the milk from the fucking servo. I mean, that's how quickly each scene just runs by or runs out the fucking door. Because there are scenes where it feels like characters are interacting in a very invested type way, or in a very compelling way, where it could provide character development or character introductions, or, just camaraderie between certain cast members that would be interesting, but it never settles in certain moments for long enough, really. It just doesn't. I'll admit, it's a very pretty movie to look at. I think that the cinematography, for the most part, is good. And I think James Jude Courtney as Michael Myers, for the little time he's on fucking screen, is good. Once again, he's a menacing presence. The kills in this movie, gotta talk about those. They're there, I guess. Like, there's maybe 3 kills in this movie where I went, holy fuck. Maybe 4. I think there's maybe like 15 to 20 kills total in this movie. But when I say that most of them are cutaways, most of them are fucking cutaways, or there's barely any gore at all, which is a real letdown considering the violent outburst that was Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018 even were very violent and very dark movies in tone. This movie, though, tries to go in a much lighter tone while also being incredibly dark at the same time, with all this melodrama bullshit that just doesn't need to be in there because of so many subplots being thrown together into one messy little bow to end off this franchise, to cap it off. I mean, nothing really happens until the last 20 minutes. I'm not even kidding. Michael doesn't even start anything until the last 20 minutes of the movie, which is baffling to me. One of the things that made Michael so scary in the first place is, yes, you never saw his face. Yes, he never spoke. Yes, he was the embodiment of what was pure evil. But that's also because he would stalk and lurk in the shadows. He was a force to be reckoned with because you didn't know where he was or when he would pop up, because he is that quiet and that sneaky, and he is literally just the shape, the embodiment of pure evil. In this movie, however, I lose a lot of respect for him. He feels like a weak little bitch. For scenes of which I won't spoil, but there are scenes where Michael's just stumbling around, like he's Ghostface almost, getting beaten up by regular people. What? And it's not like didn't happen in Halloween Kills, but that was a group of people. That was a lot of them. This was him getting beaten up by maybe one person. Yeah, Michael Myers, everyone. I just don't know what a lot of the decisions were and who greenlit a lot of these decisions in this movie, because I wanted to love Halloween Ends. I really did. And there are good moments here and there with great ideas. Like, every idea in this movie, I would say, is interesting. I wouldn't say that all of them were great. There were great ones here and there, but they were interesting, at least, every single one of them, and with some unique concepts that may have worked for later films in the franchise. However, they threw all of them into one film because this is supposedly the last one, and I just don't see it. I can guarantee you in the next 5 to 10 years, they are going to hard reboot this franchise with a new Michael Myers, with a new protagonist, and everything. Like, to sum up Halloween Ends in such a way that I feel accurately describes it, it's as if you go to a Halloween movie expecting to see Michael Myers wreak havoc as he normally does, and he does. For 10% of the movie. It's like going to a Halloween movie where Michael Myers is actually in the film, but for 90% of it, you get Roy Burns. You've seen Friday the 13th? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Overall, Halloween Ends is an absolute mess with a shoddy script, some good performances here and there, but with lackluster stakes for our main cast members. Michael Myers isn't even in the movie all too much, so therefore his presence is sorely missed. The kills, for the most part, are underwhelming. A lot of the decisions are baffling, to say the least, with the direction that they went. Like, this was a ridiculous movie, to say the least, in regards to a lot of its ambitious decisions, and I respect it for that reason alone. But I can't say I'll ever watch this movie again. I can't say I'll go out to the theater to see it again. I can't say I have any desire to see it again anytime soon in general. And I can't recommend it. I just can't. Which is really upsetting because I was really excited to see Halloween Ends. But unfortunately, it is one of the most disappointing movies of the entire year. And I'm going to give Halloween Ends a D. Good ideas, interesting concept, good acting, and some good kills with a movie that barely features Michael Myers isn't enough to make up for all of its shortcomings, unfortunately. But guys, have you seen Halloween Ends yet? I want to see what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or are you somewhere around the middle? Please comment down below, let me know. Or if you haven't seen it yet, are you looking forward to it? What's your favorite Halloween movie? I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say. Do be sure to look out for more content coming very, very soon, guys. I'm super excited for what I have in store for all of you. There are some changes coming to the channel, admittedly. There are some major changes coming to the channel, and I will be doing a video based on it, but I'll be putting them in play very, very soon, guys, and I will be doing a video talking about them and why certain changes are happening, but a rebranding is basically happening altogether. Either way, while I'm scared of doing it, I'm terrified to say the least, it is for the better for me as a content creator and the type of content I want to make. So thank you guys so much for watching. As per usual, if you did enjoy this video, do be sure to give it a thumbs up and follow me on social medias to get up to date when new videos are out every single week. Do be sure to click the subscribe button and the bell to get notified when new videos are up every single week. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.